Okay, so we all use Google, right? Probably dozens of times a day, but I bet you don't know the full story behind it, and trust me, it gets pretty weird and fascinating. Let's dive into the surprising story of the world's biggest search engine.
So right off the bat, I've got a question for you. Before it became the name we all know, Google had a completely different and, let's just say, a pretty strange original name. Any guesses what it was?
Yep, back rub. Seriously, it sounds a little odd now, but it actually made a ton of sense back then. The whole search engine worked by analyzing backlinks, how websites linked back to each other to figure out what was important. So, back rub. Get it?
So how in the world did they get from backrub to Google? Well, the name is actually a play on a real mathematical term, Google. And this was no random choice. It perfectly captured what the founders wanted to do: organize the absolutely massive, basically infinite amount of information on the web.
Just look at that. That number right there is a Google. It's a 1 followed by 100 zeros. It's a number so huge you can't even really wrap your head around it. And that tells you everything about their ambition from day one. They weren't just thinking big, they were thinking unimaginably, astronomically, Google big.
But for all that massive ambition, the company's start was, well, anything but grand. From a simple garage all the way to the screen you're looking at right now, let's take a look at Google's super humble beginnings.
I mean, it's the classic Silicon Valley startup story, isn't it? No fancy corporate campus, no high-tech labs. Nope, just a rented garage. It really brings this tech giant back down to earth, reminding you that it all began with a couple of people, one huge idea, and a very, very small space.
Now, think about Google's homepage for a second. It's the definition of minimalist design, right? You've got the logo, the search bar, and that's about it. You'd think this was some stroke of design genius from the start, but the real story might actually surprise you.
Turns out that super clean, iconic simplicity wasn't a grand design philosophy. It happened because the founders just weren't very good at coding websites. Larry Page and Sergey Brin didn't really know enough HTML to build something flashy. So one of the most famous designs in the world was basically an accident. And in a way, they accidentally proved that sometimes the simplest solution is the best one.
That very same year, 1998, also gave us another Google classic, the Doodle. But the first one wasn't just for fun. It was actually just a practical out-of-office message. They stuck a little stick figure from the Burning Man festival in the logo to let everyone know, hey, we're gone for a few days, so if the site breaks, we can't fix it. You know, this fun, unconventional spirit really became a core part of their culture. It wasn't just a one-off thing. And as you're about to see, it's not all serious servers and complex code over at Google headquarters.
For instance, once the company started growing and got a real headquarters, they needed a way to cut the grass. But a loud, gas-powered lawnmower just didn't really fit their vibe. So they came up with let's call it, a creative solution.
Goats! You are seeing that correctly. They literally hired a herd of goats to come and mow the lawns at their headquarters. It was quiet, it was eco-friendly, and let's be honest, it was way more interesting to look at than a standard landscaping crew.
Now, this kind of quirky, out-of-the-box thinking wasn't just for show. It was part of the DNA that let Google grow in a way that pretty much no one could have predicted. So let's talk about the mind-boggling scale of Google today.
From that little project analyzing a few website links, Google now handles billions of searches every single day. That makes it, without a doubt, the most used search engine on the entire planet. The scale is just almost impossible to fully comprehend.
And here is a fact that really hammers home their total dominance. What do you think is the world's second biggest search engine? It's not Bing, it's not Yahoo, it's YouTube. And guess who owns YouTube? You got it, Google. They literally have the gold and silver medals in the Search Engine Olympics.
So how do they stay on top? By never, ever standing still. This isn't some system they built and just left alone. To give us the best results, Google's search algorithms are changed and updated thousands of times every single year. Most of these tweaks are so tiny that we, the users, never even notice them. So all of this, the scale, the innovation, the goats, it all leads to one final, incredible legacy. Google has done something very, very few brands ever managed to do. It stopped being just a noun and became a verb. I mean, think about that. When your company's name is officially in the dictionary as an action, you know you've changed the world.
You didn't just create a popular product, you fundamentally changed how every single one of us finds information. It's the ultimate sign of just how massive their cultural impact has been.
And that just leaves us with one last fascinating question to think about. Today, we Google things. It's just a part of our daily language. But as technology keeps racing forward, what's next? What's the verb that will define how the next generation finds information? Something to chew on. Thanks for joining me on this one.